Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. Another busy show. Today we'll talk men's basketball. We'll check in with the women's basketball team, and we'll talk Bulldog hockey. First up, head coach Bill Sall with the men's basketball team. And Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Rob.
Your team had a chance to open defense of your conference championship from a year ago. 2 league games on the road this past week, and always nice to pick up 2 wins on the road.
It certainly is. And going into this past week, I was a little nervous about what we were going to see. Some new faces that hadn't played in those gyms, especially Ohio Dominican, where none of us had been at the game before or been to the gym. And it was really good to see our guys play with a lot of effort and energy in both games and come up with 2 wins.
You started out on Thursday night at Tiffin, tied at 37 at halftime, but your team really came out, took control in the second half, and pulled out an 81-64 win. First 10 minutes in the second half is probably the best we played all year. We defended exceptionally well. They only scored 10 points in that period of time. And then on the offensive end, just really shared the ball. We're able to get really good dribble penetration. And I think if I calculated it out of those baskets, everyone was an assist. So that means you're sharing the ball and doing great things. What were some of the key adjustments you made going from the first half to the second half?
Well, their 2 primary players were really hurt us. They were the leading scorers. We had worked on them all week and ended up really giving those 2 guards too many good looks. And so we challenged them at halftime to really step it up on the defensive end. And our guys, I thought, really responded. And then our rebounding was outstanding in that beginning of the second half. We didn't allow a second chance point. And because of that, we were able to get in transition, and that's where we go.
5 guys in double figures in that game, and it seems like you're really starting to get some good balance offensively that maybe you didn't have earlier in the year.
You know, that's a key. For our team right now, we need to find ways to make sure by committee we can win games, and that's by being able to score and have numbers of guys have touches and get scores. And in that game, you're correct. That's great to see. Kenny Brown, Danny Sutherland, Jarrell Sanders, Dante Molden, I think, with a career high, and then Drew Lehman off the bench, all in double figures. That really helped us.
Come back on Saturday at Ohio Dominican. You mentioned first ever trip to Columbus, Ohio, and a totally different game. You build a 17-point halftime lead and then have to hold on down the stretch to win it 69-60.
That first half was very good for us. We played really just hard-nosed defensive basketball. Again, our rebounding was outstanding. They missed 19 shots, I think, in that game in the first half, and they only got 1 offensive rebound. That's pretty impressive. You are exactly right, though. Down the stretch, man, we really started to struggle. I think we got complacent. We had a number of turnovers that really hurt us, and they were able to crawl back in the game and had the basketball, only us up 7. But again, great to see us close it out and get the win.
In terms of the second half of the Ohio Dominican game, what were some of the big differences between the first half to the second half?
Well, number one, I think at about the 10-minute mark, they put a 1-2-2 zone in. Extended it out a little bit. We did a really poor job of attacking that zone. And because of that, we kind of really slowed ourselves down. Suddenly, we're holding onto the ball, we're not moving it. And again, it's kind of been indicative this year for us. We're way better off when we get touches and get flow. And since we slowed down there, suddenly now we're stalling on defense. It was a little bit probably being tired, some of these guys being a first, big road game, back-to-back games after playing with a lot of effort. But again, something hopefully we can learn from and get better at.
In terms of the rebounding situation both nights, you had a big rebounding advantage in both games, and it seems like that you're really starting to do well on the glass with maybe a smaller lineup than some of the teams that you're facing.
Well, Dan Sutherland and Jarrell Sanders really have stepped up big, and we've challenged them to do that the whole year. We're not going to find success unless those guys do it. In the same breath, our guards are really starting to rebound well from the perimeter. Kenny Brown, I think, averaged about 5 rebounds a time, and Dante Molden actually averaged right around that mark. So it's a team effort again. That's one thing I think that we can really find out from this year. There is no marquee player. It's just a bunch of good guys playing really hard.
You mentioned Daniel Sutherland, 3 straight double-double performances for him, and talk about how much growth he's made here early in the season from a year ago.
Danny's really stepped up to the plate. I can't be happier for him. I mean, he's just always been a hard-working young man. He's really relished the role of now being that hard-nosed, blue-collar, get in there and get in the mix type of player. And his future is so bright, just for the simple fact he's such a great athlete and such a great competitor. If we can fine-tune a few of his skills, he can really be a special player.
This week, you're back at home on Tuesday night against Elma College, a non-conference game, and then back into league play on Saturday at Northwood. Talk about both the matchups this week and what you expect from both of these opponents.
Alma, it's very interesting. Alma is coach. Their new coach is an old friend of mine. Coached with him actually at Hillsdale for 3 or 4 years. He has them playing really well. They're a team that shoots a lot of threes. I think they average about 25 threes a game. And so it's kind of a different style than probably what we've been used to the last couple of games we've played. And then on Saturday is the big marquee matchup at Northwood. Northwood's really improved, really started out the year strong. Just had a big win against Lake State on Saturday. So we really have to come forward and see if we can do some things there.
You're 2-0 in conference play, and I know you're pleased to get those 2 wins, but how do you continue to build on that and keep the momentum as you head into the holiday break?
Just have to continue to get better. You know, our motto, just probably like any other team, is play hard, play smart, play as a team. We do those things, I think we can be very successful. You know, the league this year is very interesting. I think there's a lot of really good teams, but not really one marquee team. And so every night's going to be a battle, and again, if you can do the small things correctly, you have a great chance to win.
You've won 4 games in a row as you head into these 2 matchups this week. Talk about some of the differences from early in the year, what you've done better here over this last 4-game stretch.
Well, we're taking care of the ball a lot better, and that's always a good start. If you don't get a shot up, it makes it pretty difficult. Rebounding has been tremendous, and again, I don't think we're ever going to be a great field goal percentage team per se, as far as, you know, being right around that magical 50% to 55%. But when you're able to get offensive rebounds and get second chance points, and that's all energy, you know, we can really help ourselves. And then as far as a team overall, I think we're just doing a really good job of coming together. You know, this is a group of guys that really didn't know each other well at all, and a lot of guys that had different roles. So all that's taken time, and I think that's the one thing I see from where we were, say, for instance, you know, at Central Michigan or a game like that till now, after playing 2 league games, is we've really seen improvement from there. Now, that being said, we have to really continue to step that improvement up.
Kenny Brown was the GLIAC North Division Player of the Week a week ago. He's leading the way, averaging right over 15 points a game, but you've been able to get some good contributions from a number of other kids, especially some of the younger kids that are seeing a lot of action.
Well, we really have, and that's what's been exciting to me is the youth. It's a youth movement. Dan Chilcote is now starting at the 5. Had a great game against Ohio Dominican. Actually had 10 points. He had his first double-figure scoring game. He somehow in the stats didn't quite get it. He only had 8. But he's been playing well. And then off the bench, Drew Lehman has really been a stand-up player, shooting a great percentage and just a determined athlete. And then Dietrich Lever, the backup point guard, has really given us good minutes. So, you know, we have 3 freshmen in the mix, and then a couple other freshmen that really are stepping up as well.
Well, Coach, best of luck as you take on Elma and Northwood this week, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, thanks so much, Rob.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.